We had a researcher, we had someone that is investing money. We could jump to questions already, but I will do my best for the next 15 minutes to grab your attention. I have the job to ask you, if possible, not to take too many pictures. Anytime you need information from the company, you can go back to our website. We have our integrated reports issued annually. All the information that is here is presented there. But anyhow, I will try to tackle 3 points. What means for us innovation, pioneering, which is one of the issues that we have on the panel, and how biotech is bridging the gap between what we call it today and what we call it possible sustainable tomorrow. So a brief overview about the company. That's São Martinho.
More than 70 years of history. From the first farm acquired, sugarcane still horse-drawn, and the first whistle of the boiler, until it became one of the largest energy groups in the country. Today, São Martinho has 4 mills in operation. 3 in the state of São Paulo, and 1 in the state of Goiás. It is an operational reference in its sector and one of the largest producers of sugar, ethanol, energy, among other products. With shares traded at Bovespa, the highest corporate governance index of the new market, São Martinho remains focused on continuous improvement of its production processes, producing with high technology and quality that reflects directly on its results. The multimodal integrated logistics associated with the strategic location of the mills and high capacity allows its deliveries to happen in real time and more effectively. Its vocation of pioneering and innovation is translated into operational efficiency and brings sustainability to the core of business strategy. The waste and water reuse in production processes, as well as excellence in sugarcane cultivation and soil management, are key drivers of agribusiness and guarantee the continuity of the company. São Martinho, as a reference in people management, prints its own of respect for people, community, and environment. Sustaining strong values and virtues that make up its DNA, the company continues mobilizing people, resources, community, and society. São Martinho, creating energy, life energy.
So I will jump to the first topic. How do you deal with pioneering inside the company? So pioneering today is an option. Pioneering is a decision. It's different than innovating. Innovating in a process that you do systematically every year in order to survive. So to decide if to pioneer or not to be a pioneer, it's a decision. It comes with return over investment. It has to be done under analysis, data analysis. So what we do, we use a lot of techniques. One of them is to combine futurism with patentographic analysis. Futurism gives us a little bit of alternatives towards looking into the future, different than having a specific strategic planning. Strategic planning usually points you one possible future. Futurism gives you alternatives on how this future can evolve on different pathways, giving you perspectives on how to look on these capabilities. And for example, one of these visions is to have a sweet revolution towards the future, where sugarcane, where sugar, where ethanol would be a basis to build a society which will be completely different than what we believe that it will be today. If we stretch the present to the future, we will get a different overview about the same future. So we do this for alternatives. So this is one alternative for the current strategic planning. And we pave this way with patentographic analysis. Patentographic analysis gives you an overview of everything that is coming out of the academia and how companies are protecting this knowledge to pave the way between this today and those possible futures. This gives us the possibility to understand how much costs to be a pioneer, what would be the best partners to partner with today, and if that future will be more plausible, possible, or even alternative to what we are looking into the strategic planning. So pioneering is not something that you do by chance. We believe on a definition that luck is when the opportunity meets someone which is prepared to do it. So you look on the other company besides you and said, they were luckier than we were. The issue is to be more prepared. So we try to look on different perspectives and alternatives to be prepared to the future that will default. Sustainability and innovation, it's something else. Innovation is a process. Sustainability is a key driver. So on the three first images there, you see three projects on the sustainability pillar. The first one is a picture from 3 months ago for our first scale biomethane production in the inner side of São Paulo. We are going to produce between 15 to 17 million cubes of biomethane. The idea is to use this first project to help partners to decarbonize hard-to-abate industries, and then to have all the payback of the first project unfold in new biomethane plants in order to decarbonize the production of our own ethanol. So we are running on the second picture full biomethane-powered trucks, heavy trucks, for the next six to 8 years, I would say, because we want to run a full cycle, engine cycle, and truck cycle to be able to calculate the total life cycle cost of a biomethane operation before taking the decision. Here is where we decided to be a pioneer. We started to mechanize our harvesting in 1979 when we had the Guariba strike. We said that we would be a pioneer on mechanization. We developed the first harvester project in Brazil and in South Hemisphere. Today, Case New Holland bought this project in 80-something, and all the developments of a harvester from Case New Holland takes place at São Martinho still today. This is a picture from a few months ago. This is a 2-line harvester. It spends 20% less diesel than a common harvester and has 40% more productivity doing the same job because it cuts 2 lines at the same place. So you're more sustainable, you have less costs, so you're sustainable environmentally and also economically speaking. So this is why we take sustainability as a pillar while innovating, and at that time we took the decision to be a pioneer. And if we are going to talk about biotech, there is a development that took place on the company starting from 1979. On the upper left side of the slide, and you're going to detail it in a further slide, we decided to start our first biofactory of Cotesias in 1979. Today we are producing tens of millions of those natural enemies, and we are combining this capability with the idea of producing biodegradable tablets and dispersing them using drones on the specific spot where we have the pest that we want to treat. The idea is to do as simple as we can, on the best time we can, using the best technique that we can, in order to not to spend more than we need to innovate and do the job. We combined the biotech, and that's something that for us is very important, is that there is not a single silver bullet to solve a complex situation. So we combined more or less 10 years ahead the development of our owned 4G network to have full connectivity on the fields. We developed smart traps powered by AI in order to detect the individual pest where it is. We acquired a large fleet of drones of around 100 vehicles. We developed the biodegradable tablets for the dispersion, and then we combined everything on what we call an integrated total pests and disease management in the company. On the right side, you can see that today São Martinho is very proud that 85% of the inputs that we do on the field, we do using biological control, and only 15 of them is still by chemical control. So it's an 85 to 15% comparison, and we have biofactories on farm to produce Metahesium, Cotesias, Bovaria, and others. So we verticalize what we can, we cut costs, we combine technologies, and when pioneering makes sense, we try to innovate towards this future that we saw a few decades ago. So the timeline is more or less like this. 1979 Cotesias, today it's tens of millions of Cotesias being produced manually. dispersed today at least 1 cotesia per square meter since 2020. At 2001, we started our own factory metahesium production. 2011, Bovaria, Balsiana, and here we have a partnership again with Case New Holland. One patent that we developed is to disperse this natural enemy while we are cutting the sugarcane. So it's a mechanism that goes on the harvester. It's a low volume dispersion that is done on the cane, and then the machine puts the leaves on the top of it to make it shade. Then the Sphenophrys is getting out, and it's being parasitized by the Bovaria, so it's patented by São Martinho, licensed to CNH, sold as a machine accessory, and paid back to São Martinho. So that's how we combine partnership together. And now, 2024, we started our Trichogramma biofactory to combine in different phases or stages of the development of the Sphenophrys, the Bovaria, and the Trichogramma, depending on the stage on the field. Very strong relationship with Embrapa. Nowadays, more or less 1.5 million hectares of inputs equivalent on the field. And again, in 85 to 15% relationship using biological to chemicals on the field, with today lower than 20 grams of CO2 per megajoule of ethanol produced in the company. Why do we innovate? Our purpose is to innovate because we believe that we should continue constructing a future that allows us to dream about what today is impossible. And that's why we keep pioneering where it's worthwhile to pioneer, and we keep innovating because if we don't do it, we'll die. Simply as that. It was a pleasure. Thank you.